I need to wake up. I'm like dead inside. Hey guys, it's me, Liz. Welcome to my very first YouTube video. This is super exciting. I've never done this before, so hang with me and we will get there. And eventually I will get better, but hopefully you will like this video. So today we're gonna do the end of the year reading tag, and I added a few of my own questions to it just to make it more me and so you guys can get to know me a little bit more. Let's get started and see what happens. I have not prepared anything for this. I just got the questions, wrote some of my own down. I haven't prepared for anything or even thought of any books, so this will truly be just off the cuff, my true opinions. Let's get going. First question, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? So the first book that I have yet to finish is Other Lands by Thomas Halliday. It is a world in the making, so it's the history of the earth, and it is so intriguing to me so far. I'm on page 57, and there's only there's a little less than 300 pages in total in the book, so I plan on finishing it in the next couple of days. I'm super excited to sit down and just go through this. It goes through the evolutionary history of the earth. Super fascinating if you're into that stuff. Only 57 pages in, but I love it, and they do include little maps. They do have the little maps, and they'll have little pictures of animals, which I love. I love when there are pictures in the book randomly. It's like a little sweet treat. It makes the reading so much more fun. The second book that I have yet to finish is The Science of Cooking by Dr. Stuart Fairmont. I have been so into cooking this past year and just really enjoying the process of that. So when I saw this at Waterstones, I was like, oh yes, I need to know the science. I need to know the science behind what I'm doing. I knew this book would be fabulous for me, and I was right. So I picked this one up when I saw it at Waterstones, and it goes through everything about cooking. I'm so excited. This is like a little sneak peek, but how cute the way everything is laid out. It's so fun to read, and you don't even feel like you're reading. I'm on the rice section right now. I'm learning all about the rice. If you have any questions about rice, put them in the comment, and I got you. I have these to finish. I'm at halfway for this one, and then Other Lands I'm right at the beginning, but there's only 250-ish pages, so I should finish that very soon. And then there is a third book that I've started and have not finished. It is an audiobook, but I count them as books. It is called God's Ghostwriters. I don't know if you can see that, but it's called God's Ghostwriters. It's an audiobook. It's Enslaved Christians and the Making of the Bible. So I'm not a religious person, but I do find religion very interesting, and I do like to pick up books and read about it. I'm only an hour and a half in, so I really just got past the introduction and the start of the book, which has been a little bit slower. So I still have 6 hours and 41 minutes left. I do plan on finishing that in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. It is due in 13 days, so I will finish it in 13 days. And then that is it for the books that I am currently reading. I do have a lot on my plate, but we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. Number 2, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? What is that word? Autumnal. Do you have an autumnal book to transition in, autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Well, I know what they mean, but I don't think that that's an actual way to say that word. That's super embarrassing. Yeah, super embarrassing, but do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? So that's super embarrassing that I can't say that word. Does anyone else have this problem? Let me know, because I have been trying for the past hour, practicing just for this video, and I can't say it. Okay, but we know what you mean, so we can just go based off of that. So as far as the autumnal books to transition to into the end of the year, let me look. I'm looking. Do I have an autumn book? So the answer is definitely no. I don't have an autumnal book. I don't. We're just gonna skip that one. I don't have one. On to question 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? What a wonderful question. Oh, I do. Oh my god, I do. No, I literally do. Don't talk to me. A release that I'm still waiting for? Girl. Yeah. You can't even see it, can you? You can't even see it. I don't even know when this book is coming out yet, but when it does, I will not be the same. No one should talk to me for a couple of weeks. It's that important to me. Look at the cover. Please load. Just look at the cover. She's so cute and I need her now. I need her. And unfortunately, we're never gonna get her. Unfortunately, this book will never come to be. We will never exist. Somehow, without the book even being out, it has 2,800 reviews and a 4.31 star rating. Book isn't out. It's not out. No one's read it. No one's read it but Scott Lynch. Scott Lynch hasn't even wrote the book yet. People are still reading it 4 stars. 4 or 5 stars, so... Okay. Really? Oh my god. 10 years ago. This comment is from 10 years ago. Saying how they were so excited for this book to come out. 10 years ago. 10 years ago. This review? 2 years ago. Scott Lynch announced today he finished the draft. I thought this moment will never come. 2 years ago. So 2 years ago he finished the draft. Still not out. Still not out. In fact, I don't even think there's a word of when it's gonna be out, if it's gonna be out. Because the book doesn't exist. It's not real. And it's never gonna be real. On Google it says that it's expected on 31 December 2024. You can't even see. Why am I showing my phone like you can see with that? You know what, it's fine. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, okay? Yeah, it says expected on 31 December of this year. Is that real? Is that real? No, you can pre-order it. Oh my god, okay, so I guess I do have some hope for this book. I don't remember hearing anything about it actually having a release date the last time I checked, so this is super exciting. Oh my god, I cannot wait! For those of you who don't know the Gentleman Bastard series, I need you to stop watching this video, stop what you're doing, and go check it out. Go get The Lies of Locke Lamora. Me butchering the name is so crazy. Go get The Lies of Locke Lamora and go read that book. It is the first book of the series, and it is just the best. Oh my god. Oh my god, it is one of the best series I've ever read. I love these characters. I love the story. I love everything about it. It is just so incredible, and I cannot wait to finish this series off in December. Yay! Yay! Oh my god. I have to mark it as want to read. I didn't even mark it as want to read. Oh, I did. I already did. I did a long time ago. So what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? This is a great question, which I am prepared for. First book that I really want to read before the end of the year gets out, and right after I finish the books from question 1, is The Rise and Reign of Mammals by Steve Buscemi. I'm gonna do an immersion read with this. So I have the audiobook and the physical book so to help me get through it. Because nonfiction can be kind of hard to get through it sometimes, so I like doing immersion reads with stuff like this. About the evolution of mammals, I guess. I haven't read much about it, but that's what I'm assuming. I love animals, and I love reading about evolution. It's the coolest thing ever, so I'm just so excited to read that. The second book that I want to read before the end of the year is out is SBQR by Mary Beard. You probably heard of this book. It has been super big this year, and I am just so excited to read it. I'm doing an immersion reading with this as well. They have the audiobook on Libby that I can get, so once my hold for that is up, which is in like a couple weeks, I will start reading this along with it. Super excited to read it. I love history and Rome especially, so who doesn't love Rome? And just so many good things about this book have been said, so super excited to get to this as well. So the third book I'm really excited to read is Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb, which is the first book in the Tawny Man series, which is like the third set of series in the... there's like a name. There's like a name for the whole thing, but there's different series in each. So there's like 16 books, I think, for this whole big world that they're in, but there's 3 books in each series. So yes, so this year is the year that I've been reading Robin Hobb. I picked up The Assassin's Apprentice beginning of this year, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I read it on Kindle, and I loved all the characters. Robin Hobb's writing is incredible. I was obsessed with it from the start, and I read the whole Farseer trilogy. The second set of series in this whole world is the Live Ship Traders trilogy, but I decided to skip that one because it doesn't follow the original characters, and I heard a lot of mixed reviews and people saying that you don't have to read it to read the Tawny Man, and because that's all I care about and there's so many other books to read, I'm just skipping the Traders. I'm sorry if that makes anyone mad. I know people say to read it before. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm just not going to do that. That's my bad. Deal with it. Deal with it. Question number 5. Is there a book you think you could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I think either SBQR or The Rise and Reign of Mammals. These could shock me and become my favorite book for sure, because I'm so excited to read them, and these are topics I love. And if they're as good as people say they are, then they could very well take the top spots. That or Other Lands. Honestly, I've been really enjoying that too. So this could, depending on how it goes for the rest of the book, could take that number 3 slot. Question number 6. Have you already started making reading plans for 2024? Why, yes, the fuck I have. Of course I have. So my 2024 year, now that I know that Thorn of Emberlane is going to be coming out, I'm going to read that one first. And then 3 books that I own currently that I plan on reading at the start of the year. So Thorn of Emberlane, I will most likely read first. Get that on December 31st. Read that in a day. Philip and Alexander, Kings and Conquerors by Adrian Goldsworthy. It's about Alexander the Great. That sounds like a lot of fun, so super excited to read that. That will be on my list. And then the second book will be Babylon by Paul Krurazek. I'm so sorry. Again, Babylon. Super interesting. So exciting to read this, and it's not super long. I love when I read a nonfiction book and it's not super long, because they can get so just boring and dreary. I think this one's a little less than 300 pages, about Mesopotamia. Super interesting. Who doesn't love that? So I'm so excited to read this as well for next year. And then the third book right after that is it's a big boy. I am finally getting into Brandon Sanderson, finally, with The Way of Kings. When I looked it up, everyone said to start with this one. So this is the Stormlight Archive, which I think is a whole series, and then this is the first book of it, which is Way of Kings. And you can get these split up into 2 books because it is over 1,000 pages long. So there is like a Way of Kings Part 1 and then a Way of Kings Part 2. But the one I bought just has both of them in one book, yeah. So she's a big boy. It will take me a while to get through. I might actually read this book first next year after Locke and Lamora, just because I am so excited to get through this. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited. I've been waiting to read that one forever. Another book that I plan to read for 2025 is the Techniques book by the Great British Sewing Bee. I'm currently learning how to sew, so when I saw this on Amazon and it was used and it was selling for really cheap, I thought, let me get this. About the essential tips, advice, and tricks you need to improve your sewing skills. That's what I need. I need tips and tricks, and I need my sewing skills to improve. So I'm super excited, and it just goes through literally what it just said. How to sew. So super excited to read this as well. So those are all the physical books that I own that I plan on reading next year. I do have a lot more that I'm just going to run through that I have on my reading schedule for 2025. So I want to read Harrow the Ninth, which is the second in the Locked Tomb series. I want to read The Stranger by Albert Camus. I plan on reading The Morning Star, which is the third book in the Red Rising saga. The Trouble with Peace, which is the second book in the Age of Madness series. I plan on doing the whole Tawny series as well, so I'll do the other two once I finish Fool's Errand. I want to read Children of Blood, Bone, and Ash, which is the Legacy of Orisha, #1. I want to read Children of Blood and Bone, which is the first book in the Legacy of Orisha series. I want to read Midnight in Chernobyl, The Stillwater Girls, Armageddon, A Little History of Religion, Team of Rivals, The Silk Roads, Girls Who Burn, The Perfect Run, so many. Kindred, Ghost Station, so excited for that one. And I really want to read House of Leaves, Blood over Bright Haven, Children of Ash and Elm, Powers and Thrones, and The Pariah, which is the first book in the Covenant of Steel. Super excited for that one. The Amazons, Lives and Legends of Warrior Women Across the Ancient World. Born, which is the first book in the Born series. The Plantagenets. The Rise and Reign of Dinosaurs. The rest of the Stormlight Archive books. And The Dawn of Everything. That's my entire list of books I want to read next year. That will change. Books will be added and probably some will be taking off. Unfortunately, hopefully none, but maybe. But we'll see. We'll see. 7. Did you DNF any books this year? Oh my gosh. Yes, I did. I hate DNFing books. I hate finishing things I started. But with this one book, I just couldn't do it anymore. I was so bored out of my mind, and that was The Last House on Needless Street. Can't remember the author. But I started reading that one, and it just felt like there was no plot. Like, I got so far into it, and I was like, what am I doing here? What is happening? Why am I reading this? I'm done. And there were just other books that I wanted to read, so I was like, I'm not even gonna waste time on this. I have no time. I have no time for this. So I DNF'd it. I did not finish, and I do not plan on going back. I'm so sorry if you like that book. I'm so sorry. It just was not for me. I like fast-paced thrillers and horrors, so that's not for me. What was the most disappointing read for me? Oh my gosh. The most disappointing read... Oh, I have one. I know. This was heartbreaking to me. This book broke my heart a little bit when I read it. This book was the most disappointing to me, and that is The Fall of Babel by Josiah Bancroft. It is the 4th book in the whole Senlin Ascend series. I was so excited to finally get my hands on this and to read it. However, the ending really fell short. I just felt like it was criminal to end it in that way. I hate when I read 4 books of a series and I can't even get a good ending. When I can't even get closure that I needed. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I was such a huge fan of this series. The first 3 books were incredible. The whole world building, the characters, everything was just so amazing. He really just wrote such an incredible book and such a creative endeavor. This was such a creative story to build this tower and to keep building upon it book after book. It was just like, I was reading it like, how are you even coming up with this? Like, his imagination must be insane. I can't even imagine what's going on up there. So some crazy world building stuff going on here, and it was just so imaginative and so fucking cool, and all the characters were so good. For it to end the way that it did with no closure, that bothers me so much. It ended on a cliffhanger, and I hate that. I hate that. It kind of just felt like he came to a point where maybe he didn't exactly know what to do with all of this craziness going on, and so he took the Stephen King way out, leaving it on a cliffhanger. So, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Very disappointing. I cannot believe that one of my favorite series, probably my favorite series that I've read thus far in life, besides Locke and Lamora, to just fall flat like that is so crazy. Just so crazy. You know why? I was so excited. And now I own it. And every time I look at this book, I'm disappointed again. It's so sad. But still a really good book and still a really good series, so check it out. But you will be disappointed and probably will cry at the end. So my camera died, so I'm gonna finish this on my phone. There's only a couple left. The next question was, what is your favorite book of the year? I think my favorite book of the year might have been... I think my favorite book of the year was The Lies of Locke Lamora. 100%, it has to be. I read that book and I was in love with the series. I was in love with the characters, and absolutely, yeah, that is 100% my favorite book of the year. It was such an incredible read, and it got me out of my reading slump, and is probably why I read so much this year, just because of that book and how intriguing it was and how well Scott Lynch wrote that story. So truly incredible. That's my favorite book of the year. Number 10 and final question, what book surprised you the most? The book that surprised me the most? Gideon the Ninth. Gideon the Ninth surprised me the absolute most, because I went into that book knowing nothing. I just saw the cover on Goodreads and I thought that looks cool, into it, so I hit want to read, and it was available on Libby, so I just read it one day and it was so good. It was so good. I loved every single second of that, and I loved Gideon, and I loved Haro and their relationship together, and it was just surprising. First of all, I thought Gideon was a boy. I thought it was about a male main character. So to learn Gideon was a female, I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. And then for it to be like a lesbian enemies to lovers was such a nice surprise, and so well written. I loved the energy between them and their sarcasticness and their hatred for each other. It was just so fun, and I really enjoyed reading it. However, I think I only gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, and it was just because the world building I felt was a little too much. I don't think anything was explained well. She tried explaining it, but it was still like, what the hell is going on? Like, this doesn't make sense. And it was just a very complex world that I don't think was explained well enough to the readers, and I didn't really understand most of what was going on, but I think the idea of the story and the characters were so fun and exciting, and it surprised me a lot. I went in knowing nothing, and I read it in about 2 days, because it was just like, oh my god, I love this, I love these characters, this is so fun. So that definitely surprised me the most, and I can't wait to read the second one and see where that relationship goes and what exactly happens, because the end of the book is crazy. What the fuck? So I need to know what happens to them. Hopefully it's something good. But that is all 10 questions of the 2024 reading tag. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and got to know me a little bit better, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!